everyone, my name is Zachary as always, and today I am talking about the movie X-Men and reviewing it. This movie, well, technically speaking, now with the whole situation with Sony and Disney and Marvel Studios and all that, technically now this started off the MCU, but really at the time this didn't, but technically now it does. But anyways, let's just talk about this movie. There's a lot of good here. There's a lot to talk about. And there's also some cons and how they probably could have improved. So we first meet Wolverine and Rogue, and they just find each other pretty much, and at like a fighting ring, and well, they get taken in by the one and only X-Men. Oh, but guess what? We figured out something else. There's this guy, so basically, Professor X and Magneto, they just don't really like each other. And now, I'm gonna go a little bit serious for a second here. We get to see Magneto's backstory at the very, very beginning of the movie, and it's a really sad sequence because we get to see, well, you know what it was. We got to see the Holocaust of in the movie in the first few minutes, and a small the soldiers taking him away from his family, and he's a kid, but he tears down a gate, and that's how we figure out about his powers, which is a nice introduction for people who haven't read the comics. But yeah, I just needed to talk about that for a second. Anyways, so Magneto is you know what, all mutants are all humans are going after the mutants. Now I gotta stop this, and I gotta get more powerful and take over the world. Ha 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 ha. So anyways, they have to try. So they have to try stopping him. And now, my most favorite character of this movie is probably Cyclops. Honestly, I just think he's an amazing character. And he's really, really cool. He is freaking awesome. I'm not even joking. He's and just awesome. At least I think so. I could be wrong. Anyways, so we get to see slowly Magneto's plan, and we think he wants Wolverine, but no, he actually wants Rogue. And it's not 100% clear. You kind of have to use context clues to put it together because he doesn't directly say it, which is nice. But yeah, we get to see some, and because we all thought he was actually going after Wolverine because of the metal that's inside of his body that lets him have those claws. But no, he's after Rogue, and we don't know that basically until the end of the movie or around that, because they're in this public place, and Magneto's trapped them, and he's ha ha ha, and he doesn't, and he kind of just pushes Wolverine out of the way so he can get to Rogue and kidnaps her and brings her to New York, and we'll talk about that later. Anyways, there is a lot of nice scenery in this movie as we get to see the X-Men headquarters and the university. Professor X's university, which is very, very nice. I really like the scenery and everything. The atmosphere and everything is very, very nice in this movie, and I really, really like it. But anyhow, we get to spend some time here, which is nice, and well, we understand. We get to understand that how Magneto is old. And well, there's a moment in the movie when he's using a machine that he built to make humans turn into mutants, but he literally almost dies using it. So we get to see some of his disadvantages and some of his advantages as a villain. A con being his age, a extreme pro is that he can control metal. But Xavier can tap into people's minds, which can affect what he does. So it's a nice dynamic between Magneto and Professor X, or Xavier. But there's also this character that's one of the villains, and is a very powerful character. Literally has the ability to transform into other people, match their voice and everything. But the interesting thing is she can turn into to people and match their voice and everything. But what she can't do, actually have their mind. Can't tap into their mind, can't figure out what they're thinking, doesn't know things that doesn't know like really deep things about them, just knows appearance and voice. So that's an interesting thing where they're trying to rescue Rogue and Cyclops and the other X-Men have to figure out which one is the fake which one's the real Wolverine. And they immediately know it because Magneto and Wolverine hate each other, or at least it seems so in this movie. Or they don't hate each other. Actually, they kind of have a nice little thing. It's Cyclops and Wolverine have the same relationship to where Tony Stark and Captain America do in the MCU. Because they fight, they bicker back and forth, but secretly they don't hate each other. That's kind of the dynamic here with Cyclops and Wolverine. At least I think it is. But yeah, anyways, they eventually rescue Rogue and Professor and they lock Magneto in basically this hard plastic, entirely clear prison. So he can't affect the bars or anything. So literally he's just in plastic pretty much. He's just in a plastic box. And it's really cool to see how they did the effect. And this is one of those movies I think where the behind the scenes are super interesting to see how they did it. A lot of it is green screen, but it's also cool to see how they did some stuff. And this is one of those bits, one of those set pieces. And they do set up how eventually Magneto will escape and more mayhem will happen in the sequel. But you'll have to come back and see me review that one when I eventually watch it. So yeah, guys, this is a good start. I really like this movie. It sets the world around us. It tells us about the X-Men and Magneto and his team. Everything about that. If you enjoyed this video or any of my other content, please consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next